make them dugout canoes, it works perfect.
Look
It
at here,
works
he's
awesome
making
because
a boat.
Pretty.
He's carving
When you was hacking
canoes.
away, I thought, man, that thing is carved just right. Where
yeah, it really is.
That would cover.
I have. This is the second tool adze that I use. The first tool was the first adze was a long handle. That one has a curvature too, so I could. The log when I started, it's going to be big. So I would stand here and I would swing it like this. Once I get a lot of these things out of there and I'm not able to swing that big one anymore, that's when this guy comes in. And then the third one is the finishing tool. This one is not all that curved. It's a little bit more straight, kind of like this, because it kind of gets all the nicks, but it still keeps its shape and form, and still got the cuts that I'm making right here. All of my canoes, I keep these cuts in there. I work too hard for it. I'm not. Pedro likes this. I don't blame him, but for me, personally, I like mine. Real
Has some texture to it.
I use a little sandpaper on there, but that's just to, so when I add a sealant, protectant, and I put it on there, but it's just a little thin base that brings out its natural color.
How much does that weigh when you're done?
It's not really that heavy. You can lift it. This side is pretty light. This side is heavier. But when I first cut it, I learned the trick when I was out there. I cut one pretty good size. It was 2 feet. And what I did was that before I cut the tree and before I decided what tree it's going to fall, I cut some wood and laid it there. So when it falls on there, it's easier for me to maneuver, pull, and that's what I did with this guy. I'm out there by myself. I got a 5-6 foot cant hook that I can just hook and be able to control it. So I like to work alone. I like to work by myself. And
Is this cypress here?
yes, sir. This is cypress tree, the heart of 8.5 foot tree. So my next project, I'm looking for maybe 11.5 foot or 12 foot circumference, because I know there's a nice big heart in there that I can use. I tell people that there's a canoe in that tree somewhere, and I'm gonna go find it. Yeah, this one's been in the making for 13 months. January last year is when I started it. And the reason why I cut it in January, this was out in the Seminole Indian Reservation where I'm from. And the reason why I cut it in January was because I can work on it all month of January, February, March, April, and then the raining season comes. So by the time raining season comes, I don't have all the wood off, but I got a little weight off of the heavy guy, right? So it's easier to pull it out. I would bring my razor out there, control it, but before I cut that tree down, I have to find a way where it's going to be easier for me to pull. So all of these things I got to look at even before I decided.
So you leave it out in the woods, January, February, and
no, the raining season would, when the water gets there, the water gets up to ankle and knee high, and it'll just soak my wood too much, and I don't want to take that risk. So that's why I cut it in January and work 4 or 5 months, and then I pull it out, take it home, and I cover it up with. It's a canoe kayak cover, but I use it to my advantage, and I use it to cover. Because when I was working on one previous to this, I was kind of leaving it out in the rain, and the dew would get to it, and it started making it black and mildewy, and I said, I need to cover this. So it's a trial and error. Everything is trial and error for me. I asked some of my elders. They don't tell me how to do it. They encourage me. And the only thing that I got from them is that the only standard is that they float. So it's like a Harley Davidson. When you go to Harley Davidson, you just get a standard bike. You can put your different rims, mirrors. Yeah, you can braid your wires. And I know.
When you cut it in January, does that also stop it from cracking more too, because the sap's down, or?
No, it's just to get the maximum work in before I bring it out. Try to get the weight off of it because when I cut it fresh, it is super heavy.
Oh yeah.
And for me to pull it out of there would be a lot of challenge. So that's the reason why I try to work on it as much as I can and then bring it out.
Now, when you sit in this thing, how do you like? Do you sit on your knees or you?
Well, this is a model.
Okay.
This is still a model. All the ones that this is my 30th canoe that I carved.
Yes, sir.
And all of them I've been learning something from. Whether it'll be the geometry, the calculation, equally proportionately, even up to this guy right here, my latest one, my number 30th canoe. I still have questions. In a sense, it's still a model because
Yes.
I'm learning from it. I'm looking for a water level where I want it to be, the thickness of the canoe all the way around,
Yes, sir.
and equally proportionate to look like the canoe as well. So even though this is look like it's it could be pulled inside,
Yes.
it can be. If I can keep it maybe coming into maybe to about here
Yes, sir.
and come into about here. It might be wide enough for me to get in, maybe, I have no idea, but that's what I mean. That's why it's still a model.
Yes, sir.
So hopefully the next one that I make, I will not only make it look like a canoe, but make it float the way I think it should float.
Yes, sir.
So this is still a model. I'm hoping this is my last model, but yeah, you got to be a student of life and to be open-minded and to learn. So
Yes, sir. Yeah, there's a lot of lost art out there that people's taking with them, man.
yes, definitely, and yet we have to tap into that and learn from it.
Yeah. What's this blade here made out of? Is that
is,
conch?
That comes from this guy. This the conch shell.
Yes, sir.
These were utilized before the introduction of metal and iron.
Yes, sir.
This one, the way it's cut and the angle that it's cut right here signifies that this is an axe. This is heavy enough to cut a tree down,
Yes, sir.
and it will work to cut a tree. And the adze come from the same
Okay.
conch shell. You may be able to get one, maybe two, or even if you need a big one, so they can make a big one as well.
Yes, sir.
So these are pre-iron metal tools.
And the handle there is like,
It's a tree. It's a tree branch.
yeah. So is this the bot where the?
No, this is how it is. The tree trunk was here,
Yeah.
and the tree branch was here.
Okay.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So I don't see trees like trees anymore. I say, man, that could be a good branch right there.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
because this is tree trunk and a branch.
What kind of wood is that? Do you?
I'm not sure. My friend Mike over here did that, but if I had to guess, I would say oak or hickory. It's
Okay.
a hardwood.
Yes, sir. But
Yep.
if you ever got any of that American hornbeam, you'd never break that stuff
No,
up.
no, definitely not.
Can I take one of your pamphlets,
But
sir?
of course,
What's your name?
Daniel
Daniel.
Tommy.
It was nice to meet you, Daniel.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate the
Yes.
information.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys?
Very good.
Is this a true to life size?
No,
I was gonna say that would be awfully tricky.
no. This is a model. Yeah, this is a model still. This is my latest canoe that I've been working on.